is on deck.
Will help you go. No, I won't let you overflow. You got this, you're in control. No,
One hit of the grade, I'm nice. Let me give you the latest. Still in my North Face coat on my favourite Nikes. Yeah, could have been worse.
Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Off the Record. I'm your host, Jarrod Hayden, and in this episode, we've got a lot coming up. Starting with an interview with Dale, a local event organiser, studio level sound studios, having worked with Adrian Duke, Tyrone Mufardin, Day One, and JC. Secondly, we'll give you guys a peek at the award-winning 2024 Nanup Music Festival, where our SAE broadcast crew went down south for the weekend to record the event. They put together a showcase of the wide range of talent that regional music festivals have to offer. After that short video, however, we'll have an interview with local Perth dubstep producer VANM, who regularly plays shows for local clubs and is known for his songs like VANM, with it hitting 90,000 streams on Spotify. God damn. He also won the official Bandles and Crank That Remix competition, being placed on the official Ground Shake Remixes album. He has gotten over 70,000 streams on SoundCloud and is on almost every other platform. Respectable. Following that, we'll have a performance from a local SAE resident hard dance DJ, SYLAT, who in an SAE first came and did a short live DJ set with us a couple weeks ago. Hell yeah. Enough yapping though, let's have a first chat with the first guest, Dale. Tell us a bit about yourself, man.
Am I starting now because of things? Hello.
Tell us a bit about
Great
yourself.
to be here. Thanks so much for having me on as a guest. I'm really excited to just talk your head off.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
What got you started with this career path? What led you here?
So I think it was back in about maybe like 2012 or something like that. I started learning how to play guitar in particular. And then I started doing a whole bunch of certificates and things like that in music, still trying to figure out what I really wanted to do in life. Aren't we all? But then as I started sort of joining bands and playing in lots of big groups and things like that, lots of like different groups really needed lots of different instrumentation and things like that. So I really found a lot of joy in like bouncing around to different instruments like drums and things like that. I kind of followed that to the end of, I guess, where the natural progression of that course, I suppose. And then I was looking for something else to do where I studied at SAE. From SAE, I kind of just fell into doing live sound with like different students who were doing a bunch of different events and things like that. And I kind of just cascaded from there, where I was all of a sudden like doing shows on my own and all of a sudden running a venue and then working in AV clubs, and then I was buying equipment, and then I was already rolling down this avalanche of a hill, and now here I am.
So you graduated from here and decided to start working behind the scenes?
Yeah, so I wasn't super sure if something behind the scenes was something I'd really love, I suppose, but it must have been a couple of months into studying at SAE I found I really liked, I guess, that added technical piece to the creative process. But then later on through the course, when I started doing lots of live sound, I really liked that there's like this element of pressure to doing something in live, but then like ultimately once it's done, it's not like something you have to continuously think about. It's like this short burst of intense stress, and then back down to being pretty mellow. And I guess I was a sick person and really enjoyed that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about what goes into planning events?
Yeah, so I don't do tons of planning events per se, but I have done a little bit of it. But like just from the AV side, it's like making sure, like I guess if I was to walk into an event in a place that I didn't know, it'd be like making sure the audio and lighting software and things like that work, to make sure that, I guess my thing is I don't want to be setting up an entire stage and then all of a sudden realize that nothing right at the start was working. So it's about doing those initial checks, making sure I'm getting sound, making sure I can turn the lights on. So that way I know that I'm not going to be doing this entire show to 1,000 people who are sitting in complete darkness, and I can sort of prioritize those kind of problems. I guess when it comes to, and that's like goes for event planning as well. Like I do a little bit of that, but to me, my process for anything like this is like, I guess, creating a mental list of priorities and working through that as I go. Something that I guess goes into planning events is trying to be really thorough for things. Like, so for me, it's like trying to logistically think out the event start to finish and being like, what actual pieces of this puzzle do I need to go through, if that makes sense. But yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
hope that answers your question.
I'd say it does.
Yeah, well, the ADD in me sometimes just goes.
No, it's good to hear. It happens to all of us, really, especially me. Has anything really stuck with you the most since starting at this job, or
Yeah, so
in this field in general?
something I mean, I've always enjoyed the kind of problem solving of when you have like a room full of people. I don't enjoy when it happens with a room full of people, but I enjoy when there's like a problem that you've got to kind of solve and it's really complex. Like something I used to really love doing is whenever I would work with touring engineers that were bringing, you know, acts over from either internationally or nationally, you would have their tech come in and they'd bring like their patch sheet where they'd have on individual channels and things like that in individual spaces, and that was kind of a little bit of a puzzle I really enjoyed solving, just to try and figure out how I can completely satisfy this patch sheet, because a touring engineer does not want they don't want one thing out of line, it's got to be perfect. But then it's like I also have to figure out how I'm going to make my part of the show work with that. And like another one is like something that's really stuck with me and I've really enjoyed is when I used to do like lots of fringe shows and things like that. There was lots of lighting shows that I would have to design from the ground up, and a lot of that's just a different way of thinking to everything I normally do, and that's kind of stuck with me. Something else funny that's really stuck with me is once I was working with Jacob right there behind the camera. I'm going to call him out right now, he's waving. I watched an entire stage fall on him, and I think that's pretty funny.
You watched the stage fall on him.
Yeah, like,
Well, at least he's here today.
yeah, well, he almost was.
What?
It doesn't matter how many times you try and kick the leg of that stage out. Sometimes you just won't take out your target.
Is there ever times when working on these like events and stuff where something doesn't go smoothly and you have to really like think off the top of your head, like what's it like puzzle solving, like problem solving? Yeah,
all the time. Yeah, so I'd say that's probably the biggest skill set I have as someone who's worked in AV and events and things like that, is like the amount of times that something goes wrong is probably more than the amount of times something goes right, depending on the show. So trying to, like, I mean, I've worked shows with DJs where we've had rooms full and then the entire PA is just cut out. And it's really awkward when you've got a whole bunch of people in a club and then it just cuts out. So it's about like trying to almost instantaneously deduce where that problem is. Like, it's like, well, I'm getting signal here and I'm not getting it here, and then power's here and it's not here, and it's trying to, like, in a matter of a minute, trying to figure out exactly where this problem is and then fix it. That way you're not wasting time. I'd say that's a massive part of my role. And even now at SAE, like it's continuous problem solving with students in a studio and things like that. It's like trying to figure out the most direct and quickest way to solve their problem and then unpacking it for people. Yeah.
With working in this, worker field, I'm sure you get to work with a very diverse like group of people. What's it like working with so many different, people in general?
It's awesome. I always loved the setup before a gig when you'd go and like chat to a bunch of different people about a ton of different things. Like something I used to love doing was when we'd have touring acts in, is be like, what's your favorite place that you've toured to? What's something really unique that you're loving about being in Australia, or just anything like that. And I'd love getting people's genuine insights on things. I think it's very interesting. And like when you've got a rotating group of musicians, that happens all the time. Like you get people from different cultural backgrounds and different beliefs and just different parts of the world as well, which I think is really, really cool.
That's awesome. After an event has finished, do you feel like a big weight lifted off your shoulders?
I don't know.
Last question, sorry.
No. I don't know if I'd say I have a weight lifted off my shoulders, but it definitely feels like I've achieved something really cool.
In time, sorry, I can't see the teleprompter properly. That is going to have to be our last question for the day. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap this interview up. What advice would you give to someone looking to start a career like yours?
In the world of events, like some things are going to go wrong. And I guess it's about just trying to take a deep breath and really think about situations logically when you're going through something really high stress. And that's a piece of advice I feel like most people could take into their real life, but it's definitely something that people should take into events.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you here, as always. To the audience as well, don't forget to check them out on social media, where can they find you?
You can find me at Hurricane Productions on Facebook. Make sure you go check that out.
Tell me what you wanna know. The things that will help you grow. No, I won't let you overflow. You got this, you're in control. No, I know what it's like to be there. Feel, see it. Don't be afraid. If there's one thing I can do, I keep you safe. I wanna ask you something now. Would you dance with me? Will you dance with me tonight? 'Cause it runs right down. So dance with me, dance with me. Tell me what I wanna know. But you're scared 'cause I've been feeling low.
My name is Phaedra Watts and I'm the Festival Director of Manut Music Festival. I've been involved for about 17 years now, programming for 15 or 16 of those and director for about 8.
Hi, we're Little Fair, we're from Perth and we just won the Manut Emerging Artist Award.
I'm Ratty by name, Ratty by nature from the Cup Trumpets. This is Coop, our bassist, and that's the spot we saved for Trompy. He had to go to Japan for work. He literally left the Emerging Artist Award, bailed off to Perth to fly to Japan. So
Winning the Live Music Awards is an honour to have that recognition from peers that's saying that we really are the best live music event. We love it and when we're here we feel like it, but getting that recognition is always supportive and encouraging, keeps us going.
Yeah, 'cause I've been feeling low. Didn't want it to be a one-time thing. It's cold, but I'm coming out full spring. Oh, I know what it's like to be there. Feel I'm singing. Don't be afraid. If there's one thing I could do, I keep you safe. Oh, well, I wanna ask you something now. Would you dance with me? Will you dance with me tonight? 'Cause it runs right down. So dance with me, dance with me.
The Manut Emerging Artist Awards started in, I think it was 2008 or 9, and it was a bequeath from Melissa Razer, who had passed away, and part of her blessings was to be left to support something. We were given a beautiful necklace in honour of emerging artists, and we decided to turn that into an award that we could present to support the emerging artists.
just being here at Nana, it's always such a beautiful, beautiful festival. I love it heaps, and I wasn't expecting this, but just to even be able to come here and play has just been the absolute highlight. And I don't know, meeting new people, talking shit, I love that. Phaedra, man, oh, I love that lady. She gives the best hugs I've ever had too. You just have to like lean down a little bit.
Dancing at the front of, I think Austria was playing this like Celtic incredible music, and I was
With
just
like a
dancing.
didgeridoo.
Yeah, and
It worked. It's like
and it just-
Vegemite and a bloody spag bowl. It worked really well.
Yeah, just moments like that where we made a new friend and we're just dancing, having a time of our lives.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time that you don't set yourself in the middle. You've got to pick yourself up and see you for who you are. So don't rush yourself. It's not a race, not some kind of high. Still alive.
We hope you enjoyed that little look into the Nannup Music Festival, and we hope to see you there next year. Maybe on stage, who knows? Sign up. Moving on, however, we have the one and only Jaden Smith, aka VANM. Tell us a bit about yourself, man. Welcome.
So, my name's Jaden. Thank you for having me. I just turned 23 years old. Been making music since I was 11. So it's been a long time. But yeah, no, I'm a dubstep artist in Perth. Yeah, been making music for quite a while. Starting to sort of, get where I want to be.
That's awesome. What sparked your passion music producing and DJing?
So
which came first?
So it was music production, definitely. So yeah, starting out as a kid, I sort of was always into music. I was doing guitar in school, stuff like that. And then yeah, heard Skrillex on the radio.
As we all did.
That's it.
That's the good stuff.
One. And then yeah, ever since then, been making music. My parents bought me a laptop when I was 13. And then yeah, same day installed at Ableton.
Same day?
Yep.
That's what we like to hear. So lots of people say Perth is very quiet when it comes to music festivals and playing live shows and stuff. What keeps you motivated in a city like Perth?
I definitely agree. I think I'm very, very lucky being in Perth for dubstep specifically. Massive city for it. I've spoken to many bigger artists and they've said that it's easily in their top 3 on their listeners base.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, no, staying motivated. It's not too hard. Australia we're all such a tight-knit community. So I've got a ton of friends over east.
Everyone knows each other.
Yep, hang out with them every day. Even got some friends in Perth, Bailey, Mike, so Bracket and Dexamp.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah, cool.
And call with them every day.
Awesome. I'm sure writer's block takes a toll when it comes to music production and everything. What how do you get through that?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I suffer through it majorly. I always like to think of writer's block as you sort of move on to one thing and you feel yourself improving, and then you sort of hit that wall of I've done this, I want to try something different, I've tried tons of different things to sort of get through writer's block, but the one big one I've always gone back to, funnily enough, is just YouTube tutorials. Even if it's stuff you already knew, stuff like that, sort of follow it, see what they did, and there can be one tiny thing and you're I've never done that before.
It can be good to go back to basics and stuff sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. You never know everything. So.
When a song like VANM or Groundshake blows up like they did, how does it feel to get something that because combined they're 100,000 streams or something crazy like that? How does that feel? Oh, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, songs like that, especially the Groundshake one, winning that competition was so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think comparatively it's not massive compared to other artists, but if I take a step back and sort of look at it, it's a really cool, awesome feeling.
So when you're playing live shows, I'm sure you're up super late.
Yeah.
How's your sleep schedule going?
Oh yeah, sleep schedule's fine. Sleep schedule's fine. My day job, I work from home, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sort of able to fit everything in really nicely, not having to travel and stuff like that. So yeah, sleep schedule's totally fine, but on a night out, it does get pretty rough. Usually just wouldn't sleep at all. Try and get a big one the next day.
Oh, you stay awake the whole time?
Yeah, it's just easier.
That's crazy. I couldn't do that. What's it like collaborating with other music producers and DJing, back-to-backs?
So collaborating with music producers, it really depends on who you're collaborating with. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. I've had collabs where we've finished it within the day, and I've still got collabs that are almost a year's in the making, where it's just
really?
we just sort of go back to it every now and again.
That's awesome.
But DJing back-to-back, it's honestly same thing. Just depends who you're DJing with, how your chemistry with them is. But a lot of the time it's more just trusting them to do their part. You do your part. When they're on, take a step back. You don't need to hover over them. You don't need to make sure they're doing everything right. Just focus on what you're going to do next.
With DJing, do you try to catch up with them beforehand and try and see if there is any type of chemistry that you'd have on set? Or?
Yeah, always. We'll always send each other our set lists. See if we've got any double ups. You don't want to have the right amount of songs you're going to play and then realize you've got 4 songs that you're going to play at the same time. But yeah, no, you always have a chat about it, even just have a mix beforehand. But, sometimes as well, you trust someone enough to just touch and go, rock up, do it,
What was it like playing at Bass Clinic 3 in Brisbane?
It was
That's
so
pretty
cool.
big.
Yeah, it was awesome. Playing in Brisbane's so cool. It was the first time I got to meet a lot of friends I've been friends with for years. Brisbane's very similar to Perth with its dubstep scene.
Like everyone knows each other, or?
Yeah, everyone knows each other. Perth is a lot bigger. Brisbane's
really?
Brisbane's is still a bit more underground, but they're definitely on the same level. It's like everyone's rocking up for a dubstep show. So.
Yeah. So, I'm sure, like, falling back on that writer's block question, I'm sure that after releasing a song you've been working on for so long, like you get that like adrenaline rush maybe? What's it like releasing something you've been working on for so long?
Oh, it's honestly terrifying, but it usually comes down to, the product is only finished like based on the amount of time you set to do that.
Okay.
Because if you don't give yourself like a due date of when something's meant to be finished, it's never finished.
Right. Are you
and
a
you'll always go
perfectionist?
back to it. Yeah. Well, you always go back to it. You always like, listen to it once and be like, I want to change that. Stuff like that. And that's why like cool things like even the remix competition, where it was like hey, we're doing a remix competition. You got 2 weeks to do it. And it's like, okay. So I sat down and like
that deadline helped you.
Really did. Yeah. Every day I was on it, like being able to do it. And it's like, if you don't set a deadline for your other things, you just sort of go back to it and, have a muck around. You don't really stress about it too much, but 100% when you're like, this is final, I'm not going to touch it anymore. It is you just sort of sit there and ponder, like, can I change something?
Yeah, you try and look back on it, but you try to stop yourself.
Yeah, you have to stop yourself, otherwise it's never finished.
Do you have any advice you'd give to like beginner DJs and stuff? Like, do you think they should, rip music off YouTube like when they're beginning, or do you think they should pay full price and everything?
No, pay full price always, because you're supporting your friends. Ripping from YouTube, it's a bit touch and go. Like I'll never like, get angry at someone for doing it and stuff like that. But it's more just like to support your community, If you go to say your friend has a food truck, you're not going to go steal food from the food truck. Yeah. So it's like, it's the same thing with the music. Although like stealing it is easily accessible, doesn't mean you should do it. So yeah.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap that up for now. Thank you again for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Hope to see you back here again soon. Make sure you follow him, Mr. VANM, on all platforms. Next up, we have the live DJ performance by SYLAT.
Go back to bed, America. Here's American Gladiators. Here is 56 channels of it. Watch these pituitary retards bang their fucking skulls together and congratulate you on living in the land of freedom. Here you go, America. You are free.
Where are you, you son of a bitch?
thanks to SYLAT for that great live DJ set. That was really cool. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Off the Record. It was really cool to hear from Dale, learning about what led him into running his own recording studio and what goes into operating a recording business. He also shared with us his experience and insight as a
live sound engineer.
Yeah, event worker. With ever-evolving clients, working with all different types of people, so many different faces you'd see while working there. Not only that, we also got a great insight into the local DJ space with Mr. VANM. Getting to know not only him, but the mindset it takes to stay, motivated, passionate. Some beginner tips for upcoming DJs, especially in the very loud Perth dubstep scene, where everybody knows each other. The career advice Mr. VANM gave us today will definitely make an impact on someone's start to their journey. At least it will for me. Might get some personal lessons. I don't know. We'll see. Big thanks to the broadcast crew for going down south and filming the Nanup Music Festival. It was really great to, see how it all turned out. And yeah, thanks for making it all possible. And as always, we look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you again for joining us today, and I hope to see you again next time. Next episode. And we're back. Oh, no, we're not.